here today on our first snow of the year. I think I commented that to everybody, right? It's always like Armageddon on that first snow that we get, because it doesn't matter. So anyway, welcome. My name is Michelle. So a little bit about my background with United Way and what got me to United Way. It's a little bit of a time warp, a little bit of a story. It actually starts decades ago when my daughter was young and she was barely a toddler. I was a single working mom earning barely minimum wage, and we really struggled. I worked 4 jobs. In fact, one of those jobs was to get her into dance class so she could dance for free. So anyway, I did what I needed to make ends meet, and sometimes that didn't happen. So there were times when my electricity was disconnected, and United Way could have helped. When my phone was disconnected for the umpteenth million time, United Way could have helped. When I was considering going back to school, United Way could have helped. When I was held at gunpoint, United Way could have helped with that PTSD and the mental health that I needed. When my frustration was high as a single parent, doing it all by myself, it was challenging. United Way had services that I could have used. When I needed affordable childcare because I worked so many jobs, United Way could have helped. So I knew, and at the time, while I gave payroll religiously, I gave out of my payroll even when I was working those minimum wage jobs, $1 a week or $2 a week, whatever it was. I didn't understand what the services were, even as somebody who could have used just about every service that United Way has to offer. And by the way, we'll talk about this. This is our resource card. We'll be talking about this in a few minutes. I wasn't aware of it. So that's what has led me to United Way. So fast forward a few years after my daughter had grown up, I put myself through school. Worked hard even while I was working those 3 or 4 jobs. Full-time mom, full-time school, earned my bachelor's, earned my MBA because that was the only way for me to get out of poverty. So fast forward a few years yet, and I received a phone call from Mayo Clinic in Southeast Minnesota, took a job there, and I was launched out of poverty almost overnight. So while I was in Rochester, Minnesota, I wanted to give back. I wanted to give to those and help those come to United Way that weren't aware of it, just like myself. So I got involved with the United Way of Olmsted County back in Rochester. In those years, I would be involved with things like the Strive program, which was mentoring at-risk students. That's a really, really cool program. I was on the Speakers Bureau, where I got to go out and talk to businesses about the good work that United Way was doing. And then I also got to attend fun fundraisers, like the Purse event and the barn events that we would hold. It was a lot of fun. So long before the world changed with COVID, my job changed, and I could work from home. And that's when I decided, why would I be in Minnesota if I can be back here? I'm a cheesehead through and through. I bleed green and gold. Why would I be in a purple and gold state if I could be back here? So I moved back here in 2016 as a remote worker. So I work from home. I'm still working for Mayo Clinic. And at that time, I wasn't sure how I wanted to jump into this community. And I tried different things, and nothing really just seemed to fit. Nothing seemed to just really call to me until in 2020, I reached out to United Way and talked with Nancy. And so the rest is history. I'm here, and I'm excited and honored and humbled to be a part of this community that I love so much, to bring those services that you all represent, that your businesses support, that you as donors and volunteers support. So thank you so much for being here today. By the way, happy ending to the story. My daughter, that toddler, is sitting in the back of the room there. She is married to, at the time, was an undocumented immigrant who is now naturalized. We went through the immigration process. She is a wedding planner in the area. So if you know anybody, that's your girl. The other thing I want to recognize is how far some of you came this morning. So So Megan, her name is Megan. Megan, where are you from? Where did you come from?
Clintonville.
Okay, Clintonville. And where did you come from?
Mountain.
Mountain. Can anybody beat that? Okay, that's pretty remarkable. So anyway, we have an agenda that we're going to walk through today. Welcome, but let's just introduce you to our board first. So our board members, could you stand up, please? Fantastic. So this is our board, Elaine, who you're going to hear from her on the diaper bank. There's Melanie, our secretary. Melanie has given all time to put this together. It is all because of Melanie that we are here this morning and her coordination and leadership. And then we have our treasurer, Linda, in the back there who is greeting you. Thank you. And then we have others who unfortunately were not able to be here today, but this is our board if you see them out and about. And so now I get to introduce our executive director, Nancy Schultz, who I think all of you know. I don't think that there's an introduction that is needed for Nancy, as she is a Shawano celebrity. So Nancy.
Okay. Good morning, guys. Good to have you here. I am, for those of you that are nonprofits here, I am your strongest fighter. I have a passion for raising money for all of your nonprofits organizations. And I wanted to share, there's a reason why you have these cups in front of you. There's 52 M&Ms in here. My pledge, and what I'm trying to get for the entire Shawano County, is if every single one of us would give $1 a week to United Way, our nonprofits would receive over $2.1 million. That's a lot. Would you have to fundraise? No, you guys wouldn't. So my plea is I need you guys as my catalyst to really get out there and say, hey guys, $52 a year, $1 a week, we could be, all of you could be well off. All of you could. And it's not breaking the piggy bank. We know that we are in a time of high inflation, but $1 a week is nothing. We probably waste that away. So I'm going to encourage you to go back, share it with all your friends, get them involved with us, because we're right now in our campaign to get raise the funds for our nonprofits. How many nonprofits do we have here today? Good. Excellent. So I will be speaking in a little bit, but I am so pleased to be here. I started when we were right at the start of the pandemic. They hired me in January of 2020. And the story behind that is that in 2018, I actually went to the board chair at that time. His name was Ron Scanlon. And I said, Ron, you need to have an executive director for United Way on board. And he goes, Nance, he goes, we don't have anyone that has surfaced up to the top to take this role. And I was working with Extension, and I was working on projects such as Boys and Girls Club, the Fresh Project, trying to get those projects started here in our community. And I said, but they need the support of United Way. And in 2020, I decided to retire, which I thought it was retiring, and that didn't happen because literally they phoned me and they go, you know, Nance, they brought it back to me and they go, hey Nance, we have the perfect executive director for United Way. It's you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here it's coming back. And I'm like, I'd be honored. I am retired. I would be honored to come in and step in and fight for our nonprofits and all the wonderful work that you guys do in our community. So hats off to all of you guys for what you do in our community to make it a stronger, brighter, and more vibrant community. Thank you. Let's give you guys a round of applause. And I'll hand it back to Michelle.
Excellent. Thank you, Nancy. We know that you are an advocate not only for the nonprofits, but for this community. And like I said, when I said you were a celebrity, I was not kidding. Everybody knows you, Nancy. So our mission, let's talk a little bit about our mission. You know, when I was talking about my story, I talked about education. I referred to education, finances, health. I mean, I always had health insurance, and I was blessed enough to have health insurance for the family. But there were things that we could have had access to that I had no idea. And so that's our mission here at United Way of Shawano County, improving the community life by mobilizing the caring power of the individuals in this community in order to provide maximum positive impact in the areas of education, income, and health. And that's the trifecta that we are here for, is education, income, and health. That is our mission. Oh, Nancy.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. So here's the vision in a nutshell. End poverty, maximize the health of our fellow citizens, and bring innovative educational opportunities to our community. I think that this community in Shawano, we do a pretty good job of bringing education out to our community. We have to be better. We have to improve on that, and we have to innovate and find different ways for our groups. Whether you realize it or not, we are actually a pretty diverse community. We have services for diverse around the community. So we have to be innovative and think outside the box for that. All right, current situation. Elaine, would you like to say a few words about the diaper bank?
Sure. Well, Nancy is not only a celebrity, she's sneaky. I reached out in February to a number of organizations in the Green Bay, Appleton area to see about starting a diaper bank. And Nancy reached out to me and said, I think we can work together. Come to a meeting. And as I sat down at that meeting, I was voted in as a board member. Wait a minute, I don't know how that happened, but she's sneaky. Nancy opened a lot of doors because she does know a lot of people. And we were able to work with the Fox City United Way and start our diaper bank in September, end of August, first part of September. My husband and I drove to Appleton with a rented U-Haul and picked up 27,000 diapers. If you want to know what that looks like, well, it's a lot. Fortunately, they all came prepackaged, and I meant to bring in my package of diapers, but each one of these packages of diapers are either 50 or 25, and they have a little golden book in them. So these families that we are giving these diapers to are also building a library. Our families, the diaper bank is located at the First Presbyterian Church. We distribute twice a month, the third Saturday from 10 to noon, and the first Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. We've actually been open for 4 distributions. This coming Saturday will be our 5th, and in that time we have registered 40 families. These families come in, some of them bring their kids, some of them don't, but they all qualify, they register, they show their proof of need. They get a registration card, and they can come in twice a month to pick up diapers, depending on the size of their child. Newborn through size 2, they get 50 diapers in a package. Size 3 through 7, they get 25. When we started, we had no size 6 or 7s, and we chose to do a diaper drive through the month of October, and through that drive, the community stepped up, and we received enough diapers that we will not have to turn anybody away for probably 4 to 6 months. We are solid. We've also been able to use some Thrivent money that was given to us to buy baby wipes, because the health of a child, they go hand in hand. Excuse me. So if you know a family that's in need, send them our way. It's the first Tuesday that there are flyers in the back regarding the diaper bank. Our goal is to turn nobody away. Right now, we ask that they live in Shawano County, but Shawano is a big county. Our goal is after the first of the year to reach out to, say, someplace like Tigerton, some of the other communities in Shawano, and get a diaper bank location set up there. So we want to be able to really help everybody in Shawano County. We have a lot of young families. So if you know somebody, pass them, send them our way.
Absolutely, thank you, Elaine. So as somebody who has volunteered for the diaper bank, and I know that you're all out in the community and you see the faces of the community, but I'll tell you, it's only 2 hours. And to sit there and see the families that come in and see the appreciation in their eyes, there's really something very cool about it. And I know you're all busy, but if you have an opportunity, it's 2 hours. And if you, one time, a couple times, I would encourage you all because it really is very, very cool. Okay, and Elaine, congratulations on launching and your leadership in that effort. Nancy is going to come back and talk about the Emergency Food and Shelter Program.
Oop, one slide further.
Oh, okay.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, I do know that we have some individuals in here, organizations that actually receive benefits. The Emergency Food and Shelter Program is a FEMA program, and each year our food pantries and like our shelters that provide shelter receive funding from the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. How many of you guys receive funding from here? So we got 2 shelters in here that do. We have, last year was a phenomenal year. We were getting quite a bit of money to share between. So they meet as the committee members meet, so any food pantry or any shelter can come to the table, and then they meet also with, we have the Green Bay Catholic Diocese, we have Red Cross, and we have Salvation Army, and did I miss someone else that might be in there? Oh, St. Vincent de Paul. We have those individuals that come in, and they sit in these meetings with us, and then we learn what's the situation, what's happening out in our communities right now with the organization. So it's a learning process we share, and then we actually learn exactly what is we need to do with this funding, and they have phases that they receive. So I think they're in phase 39, I believe, right now.
39 in our class.
Yep. So they actually, those funds help to provide shelter nights for our shelters, for the 2 shelters back there. And then a lot of times, I believe Safe Park right now is using a lot of their funding for purchasing like milk. So there is a great need for this program. We are so appreciative of this program, but we also, it is umbrella underneath the United Way program. How many of you guys knew this program existed? Well, you would. Okay, that's with the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. I did want to bring up someone because Linda Olson actually is our coordinator for this program. She could not be here today, but Linda also does another program, and it's called VITA. How many of you guys know what VITA is? Okay, what is it?
Volunteer income tax assistance.
Mm-hmm. So they're gearing up right now to start doing the volunteer income tax assistance program. This program is beneficial to anyone that qualifies income-wise. Linda actually is a volunteer at the program, and you want to say a little bit about it?
I've volunteered since 2017, back to school, and one of my really nice instructors had a couple of us from Shawano volunteer. That's a good way to get experience, know the community. We've changed some things. We had calls come into Covantage, but unfortunately one person had passed away, and we need another setup. So that's what we're working on now. We were person to person before, where they would come in and we do the taxes, and we would do complete everything, and then they would go with their completed tax return. But now it's a drop off and a pickup, and since the COVID, and we like that. We love that, how it's set up now. So if you know anybody that would like to be a tax preparer, volunteer, we're always looking for new volunteers. That would be awesome. Bring them our way. If you know people that need the service, bring them our way. Yeah, it's geared to lower income. We're sending people away with higher income. So we're getting that 42,000, I think, is and so, yeah, they come in and they're so appreciative. And we do, they have to pick up the paperwork and then fill that out, and it's so helpful because we would turn away, or they'd have to get a document or whatever. But yeah, they're so appreciative, and we just to say that, thank you, is the greatest thing in helping your community. So
It is an awesome program, guys. If you have clients that qualify for it, please get a hold of, we also have the numbers on our website. So if you go under ShawanoUnitedWay.org, it will pull you to that VITA site. So please don't hesitate to reach out to that organization. They do a fantastic job. They usually fill it very quickly. So, but I didn't know if all of you guys were aware of that program. So thank you. Yeah, you want to shoot the next one? Okay, I get to talk to the next one. We, with United Way, as you are fully aware, we are always looking at what the needs are in our community. Right now, there are two areas that we are working with. One is just in the infancy stage, and I'm just going to mention it first. I'm working with one of our board members to bring a NAMI support group, which looks at suicide or prevention. So what we're trying to do is get support here for people that are experiencing depression, have like that feeling of hopelessness. So stay tuned. We don't have a lot of information. We would like to get our 211 up and more functional so that we can have people reach out to that site. So that is in the very infant stages. The other one I want to talk to you about, how many of you have heard about the Greater Shawano Area Recovery Initiative? Okay. Currently, as you may be aware, we have a major problem with alcohol and drug addiction in our community. Last year, they had over 500 people go and ended up in the hospital getting detoxed. That's a lot of people. During the pandemic, it would have been in August of 2020, a group of individuals came together and they go, we have a problem, we need to address this. And so that group of individuals decided to come together, and we were talking specifically about transitional housing. And Jen was at that first probably meeting that we had. What we lack in our community is transitional housing. Transitional housing for people that are in a homeless situation. Transitional housing for people that are coming out of domestic abuse. Transitional housing for people in recovery. Well, when we started looking at it, we were like, this is a very broad, big topic. So we kind of narrowed our focus down and we decided to go with the recovery project now. Not that we're not going to eventually get to transitional housing, because that still is very much a need in our community. But this project started in August of 2020. We are now 2+ years into this project. They have, in the course of the 2 years, have established a recovery resource center. Have any of you been to the recovery resource center to see it out? It is located on Main Street. Do you know where Domino's Pizza is? It's 2 doors down from there. It's in the strip mall. If you get a chance, stop in there, check it out. The other thing is we're in the process right now of bringing recovery housing to the community for those that have went through treatment, need a safe place to finish or to do their journey in recovery. So what we right now have is we're raising funds. We're trying to raise $180,000 to put towards a first recovery house for women in our community. And why women? Well, there really is nothing for women in our community besides Safe Haven is a place, but they don't usually focus on recovery there. Their focus is on domestic abuse, though you do take in some individuals that sometimes have, there's a lot of crossover. But that is our goal. The goal is that we hope to have that met by the end of this year, and that we will get our first house set up. The other thing that is in the process right now is we are right now in conversation with, we are working with an organization called Unity Recovery Services to bring the recovery house to the community. We also are training individuals to become recovery coaches. There were 24 individuals this past Saturday that finished a 4-week training to become recovery coaches. So what basically that means is they actually have lived experience, and now they are prepping to go out and assist those people that are walking that journey in recovery. So it's really a neat program. This coming spring, in February, they will be offering a peer specialist support in the program. That program will focus on also the mental health piece of it. So that will be coming very quick. In the fall of 2021, we had an organization that we send individuals to get treatment at. It's called Core Treatment. It is located in Manitowoc. And that facility has pretty much taken at least half of our individuals to receive treatment. In our discussion with them, they are very interested in moving here and starting up a treatment facility here. So we are looking possibly in 2023 of getting a treatment facility for those struggling with alcohol and drug addiction here in our community, which is so, so needed. Lots of activities, lots of things. It reminds me of when I first started working with SAM 25 and was involved with the first little infant steps there, and where it has now went, and with the help of Jen and Jody, it has just expanded, and they've done a fantastic job. Boys and Girls Club is another one that has just grown. So I have some handouts here on the Greater Shawano if you would like any of these. I'll pass these around to you guys. And then, do you want to hit the next one? Then this one. How many of you guys got an email from me yesterday? Yeah, it's that time. Right now we need to update this card. And I need your help, because I want to make sure it's up to date and as accurate as possible. So please, if you have any suggestions on things that need to be changed on it, let me know. I do have copies of that here. If you so desire, we can pass these around. Evaluate it. Let me know it needs to be changed. This has been an awesome card to have. We have 3 formats of this card. There's a 1-pager. There is also a form that you can make 2 cards out of 1 page. And then the third one is you can actually make wallet-sized ones. So I can get you all 3 of those formats after we get these updated. So, questions on the resource card? Has it been helpful for those of you that are using it right now? Good, excellent. It is a really moving piece that if you have things like you're like, it needs to get added in there. I know the Literacy Council has occasionally has shared pieces to help with theirs, and that's been great. I appreciate that. So, I think you can go. Okay, I'll let you.
All right, excellent. Raffle basket drawings. You know what? We're going to come back to that. Here's why. This is your last call, and then we're gonna close the silent auction. So feel free, we're gonna move into some different parts here. Last call on the silent auction. I am not gonna be offended if you get up and you all rush to the table to put in your bid. So anyway, you've got just a few more minutes to get your silent auction bid in. 30-minute massages over there. All right. We wouldn't be here today. We would not be able to talk about the work that we're doing, the work that you just heard from Elaine and Nancy and Linda, without you and without the businesses and the donors and the volunteers that we have at the very core of our organizations, of our organization. 2 of those today were special. There's plaques over there. They'll be forwarded to them. Unfortunately, they couldn't be represented today, but Theta Care and Kerber Rose are 2 of those organizations. Nancy, correct me if I'm wrong when I say these things, but those organizations have, they present to their employees, and they have, I'm assuming, payroll deductions. And so we just have donations that funnel in from those organizations in the typical United Way fashion on a payroll. And so these organizations have been loyal, they have been steadfast to this organization, to United Way, and the work that we do in this community. So we thank Theta Care, we thank Kerber Rose for their support in the community. And nobody's here, but let's give them a round of applause. Okay, then we have top donors. Again, unfortunately, they were not able to join us today, but we have Dr. Divjak, Dr. Wiley and Karen Kerber from Kerber Rose. Again, extremely thankful for their partnership and donations with Shawano Area United Way. Can we give them a round of applause? And then we honor our past board members. Jenny Powers, who is a CPA at Kerber Rose, served as our treasurer for years, 7 years, and she moved off the board this year, and we are so thankful for the amount of time that she spent with United Way, the way she supported United Way, and took us through the pandemic. We can't forget that. That was a hard time. So thank you to Jenny. Chris Marks is the past president. I took the reins from her. She is the one who recruited me. She knew to get me when I had COVID and I was weak. So Chris Marks is our past president. She will be moving off the board this year. Chris's legacy is really about, she also goes back with this organization years before Nancy was even with the organization, and her support, and we are very, very thankful for her leadership, getting us to this point, and also leading us through the pandemic, which was not an easy thing, as you all know, from experience. So let's give them a round of applause. one more mention is our volunteers, and honoring and just recognizing in general the volunteers, you and others that are involved with our organization, that help at the diaper bank, that support the recovery walk, which we should plug the recovery walk, by the way. So I don't know if you're aware of the recovery walk. I'm going to go on a tangent a little bit here. Recovery walk happens the first Saturday of May, and it supports the organization that Nancy had been talking about, and it is really neat. And what I love about that recovery walk is that those that are in recovery actually get a sticker that will say how long they've been in recovery. It is the coolest thing to see addicts who are recovering just show it like a badge of honor. 7 years, 7 months, 2 weeks. It's really neat, so watch for that. Watch for the announcement and for May coming, and it's a mile. You can do the run walk, it's a mile, it's a simple loop, or you can just come and visit us as a nonprofit. So we honor also our volunteers that help us and support this organization, Shawano Area United Way. Let's give our volunteers a round of applause. Okay, nonprofit showcase. So,
Actually, that is these guys.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah, so we want to hear from you, small groups, okay? We're going to break out at your tables, and you can just join whatever table you want to. If you're by yourself, you can pick whatever table. But at your tables, we would like you to talk about United Way, how it's helped your organization or your experience with United Way. We'll do that for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll just do a report back and what you've learned, if you've had any insight. So again, at your tables, talk about United Way, how it's impacted your organization. All right, 10 minutes.
So what we're all encouraged to do is to go to these local things in our local community. So you could focus on what you're there for.
Yes. So that's kind of how United Way have helped us. The other thing is getting, Nancy's really, really great at getting all the of our events out to people, and going on the radio.
She never really stopped, though. Yeah.
I don't think I
Give it a
ever
chance.
That would have probably never thought that. Said to me like, hey, let's go on the radio. I would have never ever thought like, oh yeah, that's a
radio.
Yeah. So that's a lot of how United Way has helped us.
Well, in Shawano County, Literacy, we've been around for 29 years. Somehow it seems like we're doing the best.
Which is where it was supposed to go. So we uncovered a little bit of red tape that was happening in Dane County, and we're able to get all of the employees who live outside of Dane County to get the funds to the local United Ways. So it was kind of a big deal. So it was important for me to hear this, because I can bring it back to our philanthropic area and say, this is what Shawano County needs.
Organization, it's been around since 1985. Started by Chris and Walt Baldwin at their farm. We started with 3 riders and 1 horse.
United Way is always there for us, directing money away from, not that, I mean, I'm
Mary, your
sure,
brothers and sisters.
it's nice.
It's here in Braun, there's a staff person here.
Or is he thinking like for his church? He was thinking for United Way.
Yeah.
He is very much out in the community. They want to. Yep.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah,
So like the church that I grew up in Clintonville, actually, Christus.
All right, let's call you back. Probably see the bell. Fundraisers and these sorts of things.
No, give you a report over.
Great.
Luckily, it's all outside and it goes right into the soil for those good vegetables.
Or anybody can volunteer for you. All right, let's call each other back. And we're just going to have you share. We'll have each group share just a minute in the interest of time. And so let's start with this table over here. Anybody share just a little bit Dave, looks like you're getting the finger.
Wouldn't be the first. Well, I am Dave from the Fresh Project. I'm the executive director there. We do serve the Shawano and Menominee County communities, getting fresh food to people. And I'm terrible at getting names, so forgive me for forgetting everybody's names. But one thing I did learn about our organization is we have a community member here who reminded me of the importance of the role that community members make to donating or helping to donate to funds or United Way so that the rest of us can get our funding that we so desperately need. So thank you for all the work that you do and with your organization. Again, I don't remember the names, but we did have somebody from, is it the Navarino?
Navarino Nature Center.
Nature Center, Navarino Nature Center. I didn't know there was going to be a quiz, so I would have paid attention. But one thing that really I found very interesting was that one of the ways that they use their funding is by providing field trips. When I was a kid going to school, we went to field trips. It was a given that you were going to go on field trips, and nowadays schools don't have the funding for that. So United Way is helping to fund field trips for the kids. They went to the resource center, but we could probably use that money to come help the kids, to get the kids to come help us weed our gardens. So that's really neat. And then the Red River Riders, equine therapy, is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Horse riding, helping people recover with the use of gentle animals like horses, even though they can trample you to death quickly. So that's really another great organization that I learned about today. So hopefully these are organizations that can continue to get support from United Way to help community members, whether it's therapy, education, or just fresh food. But definitely thankful to the community and members like you. Thank you very much.
Let's give Team Dave a round of applause. All right, and because you have the floor, talk about your next event. Dave, Fresh Project.
We have a winter market coming up on the 10th of December at the First Presbyterian Church. It's an indoor market, so you can come in out of the cold and help support local artisans and crafters.
Fantastic, thank you, and you did great on the spot, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Linda.
Red River Riders is having a day at the races this Saturday at Doc's Harley Davidson on 29, and that's videoed horse racing. You have funny money, you bet. There's a $10 donation at the door that includes the whole day's events and lunch, and there are baskets for raffling. It's our big thing, our annual big thing for underwriting riders and horses.
Sounds great, I think I know what I'm doing now.
After you work the day.
After well, I do Tuesday nights, yeah, but you're right, yeah. Anything that you'd like to mention?
Just that I work for Ascendium. It's headquartered in Madison. We're probably one of the largest education philanthropies in the country. Our company just started encouraging our employees to be more involved in the United Way. This year our campaign included 4 times match on any dollar that our employees have donated. So I'm looking forward to making more of an impact and keeping the dollars in the community where I live versus in Madison. So
That's great, thank you for being here.
happy to hear all the things that United Way supports, right? I'm going to bring all this information back to my company.
That's fantastic, thank you for being an advocate, appreciate that. Tim?
Navarino's got 2 wreath making workshops coming up. We've got our Christmas tree sale. It's cut your own the first and second weekend in December. $20 regardless of species or size. They're untrimmed Charlie Brown Christmas trees. So you're going to be cutting something down that's probably 24 feet tall and taking them whatever you need off the top and the greenery. And then we're just getting ready for skiing and snowshoeing season, which, as you can see, is upon us.
Yeah, you know, Navarino is a gem. It's just a gem, and maybe I'm a little partial because I'm a member. But I was out there on Saturday at Art Fest, and how many sandhill cranes are out there?
Well, there was 12,000 in October. There was probably 2,000 or 3,000 out in the fields on Saturday.
Yeah.
They were everywhere. It was just lined. Everywhere you looked, they were in the sky. It felt like I was in Jurassic Park. Yeah. Awesome. Elaine, anything you wanted to add?
We have our diaper bank distribution on this Saturday from 10 to noon. Volunteers are always welcome.
Yes.
Takes about 5 minutes to train you. My 5-year-old granddaughter will be there, so she will be training you this time. That's how easy it is. It really is easy.
It's not.
And just to see the looks on the families' faces as they receive diapers and wipes, knowing we've helped their budget, we've helped them keep their baby dry and healthy.
Yes. Yeah, it's really cool. Awesome.
First Presbyterian Church.
First person. Thank you. All right, Team Kim. You're the one I know. Team Kim, go ahead. You've got 1 minute.
So we did a discussion, and we all are really working in the same area, just a little bit differently. So we have Bridge the Gap, and I forget how many people, 100?
We service 83.
83 people servicing right now from the beginning all the way through life.
And who's the client? Who's your client? Who do you serve?
Oh, we service kiddos and adults. They're all my kiddos, but on the autism spectrum or with any other kind of special needs. So 3 years ago, we just had autism. Now we
Thank you.
branched
And
out.
then Shauna Literacy, and they are doing everything from helping with HSEDs to helping with citizenship to helping with, how did you explain it, foreign language?
ESL.
ESL.
English as a second language.
English as a second language. And then we have boys, I almost called you Boys and Girls Club. Brothers and sisters. And that's, I was impressed to learn that it's going all the way through high school now, because it used to end at like 13, 14 years old. And then I represent the Boys and Girls Club, and we have right now 52 club members, really concentrating also on literacy. Our children are really behind. So all of us, we just happen to all kind of be servicing the same type of things.
Amazing.
And everyone, when I heard everyone speak, everyone has a passion for what they do, and I think that's the key thing.
Absolutely. Who knew as a family that's gone through immigration, who knew that there was assistance right here in Shawano? That is just amazing. All your organizations. Let's give Team Kim a round of applause. All right, next event.
All right, so we have our cookie walk coming up on the 17th of December. There will be a Santa there for the kids. We are also having a band that is donating all of their time. The event is going to go from 1 to 4, and it's at the Shawano County Park inside Pavilion. So we are looking for people who would love to bake cookies for us and donate cookies to us so that we can sell them out to support Bridge the Gap. I, however, am a horrible baker, so I'm not of any help, but we have that. The other thing that's kind of going on, and it's a little bit new, but we are looking at starting transitioning housing, and so we're in the very, very early stages of transitioning housing. But my goal and my dream is to be able to provide Shawano County with the ability to have a community within a community, and that our kiddos and our adults run their own housing project, and so it will give them the opportunity to work, but also take pride in becoming independent, as independent as they possibly can. So we are in the very early stages of that. But that is definitely my 5-year dream, is to be able to have that in our community as well, where it's a safe environment where they can actually work and get paid a reasonable rate to do that.
Great
So that's
work.
kind of where we're going.
Can you feel the passion? You're like the poster child of the passion that's felt in this room with all of the organizations. Thank you. Kim, next event.
We don't have anything until spring, when we have our wine and cheese.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, the wine and
I
sugar.
was trying to think of the
I
date.
can't, put me on the spot because I can't, I really,
Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, is it gonna be at Borders again?
Yes.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
and really, right now, we're just really working on, having our club members just progress and be happy individuals and I actually, I probably don't know because I don't do that end of it. My end is kids.
Yeah.
And our board takes care of all those
Yes.
fundraisers, which I'm happy for.
Yes, awesome, thank you, Kim, appreciate it.
No events.
No events?
No.
Okay, all right. Thank you, though, for the work that you're doing.
Yeah, our next event is until spring also. It's our Fun for Kids Sake that we have in Franklin Park. I'm sure you have all maybe visited that.
Yeah.
It'll be in April.
Okay.
Again, hopefully we'll have that nice weather like we've had the last couple of years. It's been
Yeah.
good. It's been awesome. We have games. It's not a big fundraiser for us. It's more community awareness for people to come and play games and eat and just gather in the park. But we're always looking for mentors. We need bigs, so that's our big call out.
Great. Thank you. Awesome, all right. Team, I know, Jen? Jen? Team
Jen and
Jen.
Jody, 2 J's. So I'm reporting on what we talked about. I was in the bathroom, sorry, when you guys started. I'm Jen, I work at Safe Haven and Domestic Violence Sexual Assault Support Center. We've been super busy. We have a full house pretty much constantly. By the end of September of this year, we surpassed our clients in shelter and nights of stay for all of last year. So we are already in the first 3 quarters. And with COVID, things were just, not, the numbers were all off. But it's been very, very busy, but that's really good. We're super excited to be back in the schools and out in the community and doing stuff like this, bringing awareness, because when the numbers go down, we know things are still happening. So it's like, where are we reaching people? So that's kind of like, I'm glad to see that people are coming back to programs. Do you want to report on yours?
Sure. I'm Jody from SAM 25, and we do have 4 programs within SAM 25. We have our shelter, which runs November 1 through April 30th, so we just opened up. Where are we at today? About 14 guests right now. So that is on a night-by-night basis. We also do have our resource center. That has, since we went from 1 day a week, 2 hours a day, to Monday through Friday, like 9 to 2, we have like tripled the number of people coming through, whether it be for hygiene products or shower, laundry, clothing, assistance with housing, energy. We provide all that on a daily basis. We also do have our thrift store, and that's all donations. And we do provide our guests with clothing if there's a need, free of charge. But it is open to the public Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and very, very reasonable prices. And then we also have our clinic that is open on Thursdays for those individuals that do not carry insurance or need assistance. Right now it's like 4 to 8 on Thursdays. We're looking to expand that as the need grows, making awareness of that. And also eventually hoping to offer some dental as well, and optometry. So right now we just had our biggest fundraiser of the year, Empty Bowls Caring Hearts, and that is, we raise a lot of money there. The next event coming up is the Valentine's Day silent auction. And right now we're just, heavily into the season. We provide our guests with 3 meals a day, and a lot of the evening meals are provided by community members. So just a call out for help with meals throughout the season, as well as volunteering to help, because we have very minimal staff. So volunteers are very much appreciated. And United Way has been a very generous donor to SAM 25, and we really benefit by the help that they give us.
Very good. We know there's a lot going on over there, so thank you.
Megan, as a business supporter, anything that you would like to share?
No. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and I love listening to how you're helping the community.
Thank you for being here. Linda, anything to report from that, additional to report from Vida? No? Okay, let's give Team Jen and everybody a round of applause. And in second, tell us what your next event is. Go ahead, Jen.
We just had our biggest event of the year on Friday, and I'm still recovering. So, so we had our Ball of the Bandits event. Yeah, 400 people, and oh my gosh, it was a lot. So that it was great though. But I would say our next, we'll do our holiday campaign for donations. That's a big, like a letter campaign that we send out. We're gonna be doing a lot of awareness for volunteers, like Jody was saying. We're trying to get our volunteer base back. And then probably, we hope to do a new event in the spring, but the next fundraiser that we currently have set is our Mother's Day fundraiser. And that won't be till May, but we will do you can buy a certificate in honor of your mother and chocolates with that certificate, and that then pays for another mother in shelter. So we started that last year, and so watch for that. That's kind of a neat thing. I bought one for both my mother and my mother-in-law for Mother's Day last year, and it's just like a donation, and all goes to support moms in shelter.
Fantastic. That is a great idea. For you, next event, I think you mentioned it just quickly.
Valentine's Day silent auction, and then in May we have a flower plant sale. And I just happen to think, I was made aware of Giving Tuesday coming up, after the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, so that we would definitely want to promote as well. So.
Thank you. Linda, any events that you'd like to report out?
Vida doesn't have any events. We just...
Yeah, you just do what you got to do, right? Hi, Wendy. Welcome.
Okay, would help if I had the right time on my calendar.
Aww.
Because I'm on time for this 9 o'clock appointment. So apologize, I missed all these great reports.
Yeah.
Right, but I can tell you about the Boys and Girls Club, Shawano Uncorked. Mark your calendars for Friday, April 14th.
Okay.
It's going to be at Borders,
Excellent.
Friday, April 14th.
Yes, perfect. One of my favorite events in the community, for sure. The wine, the cheese. So what I want to do is just say that if you have an event and you're on Facebook and it's there, send it to the United Way page. We will share it. We will share it on our Facebook page. Also, FYI, you probably know this, but I don't want to assume anybody does. There is a Shawano community page that is run by Robin Shingler that you can, as a nonprofit, as a service, you can post on. You can post your event there as well. That's also on Facebook. So again, feel free to send them to the United Way page, and we'll get those shared for you and help you out with that. All right, so let's wrap up here before we get, what are we doing? Here we go. All right, so first of all, before we leave, we want to thank our sponsors, Charlie's. Charlie's is an amazing partner and sponsor in this community. We can thank Charlie's for those huge trays that came in after we already had our full bellies. But anyway, we thank Charlie for their support with the event. We also thank these sponsors for the pastries. Yoder's Bakery out in Bondwell, Cecil area, amazing. The food is so good. Swan, how do you say that again? Smyrana's? So, thank you. You guys all know it. Country Bakery in Pulaski. Then, of course, Perkins in town here also supplied the pastries that we have on the table there. All right, so we're going to say thank you, but before we do, let's wrap up over here. Let's do the raffle. So if you've won the raffle, if you've won this, Linda will take your money, cash or check. Check made out to Shawano Area United Way. Shawano Area United Way. All right, drum roll. For the Girl Power Pillow, we have Linda. Linda, congratulations, Linda. Very nice. The 30-minute massage, me. I got it. For the bottles that we have here, these must be wine bottles. We have Elaine. Congratulations. And then we have the Red River basket here. Linda, again, congratulations. Okay, we have the Lindor basket. Bridge the Gap, great. Jody? Judy? Jody, yeah, congratulations, way to go, you won that. The cute little basket here from the Fresh Project. We have Nancy, congratulations, you have won. The Boys and Girls Club, looks like stock market. There's some stock market things in there I see. Jen, congratulations, very good. And then on the wine basket from the wine and the olive oil, Leslie? Yeah. Congratulations. These are so good. Oh my goodness, I would want all of them. And then the cheese and sausage basket from, I can't tell who's
I think it's the Shano All-Star.
Okay. Wonderful. Dave M., congrats, way to go. And then the Navarino, Jen, that's good, look at that birdhouse. You have won that as well. So again, cash or check to Linda, check made out to Shawano area United Way. Thank you for supporting us. Look at the massage. Okay, let's keep going here. So as we wrap up, I'd just like to say thank you to our videographer right there. He is here of his own time. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much, videographer. In the back corner, Melanie, can you stand up, please? Melanie made this event happen. Melanie, I don't know if you know Melanie. Melanie is an art teacher at the middle school. She is also a coach. She is also in Leadership Shawano County. She also volunteers and is involved with Shawano Pathways, who had the bike event in September. That lady is very busy, but she carved out time to bring this event together. So let's give her a big round. Another note, and Nancy, I don't know, this is just a plug, and Wendy too. If you haven't, Leadership Shawano County. If you've been through Leadership Shawano County, raise your hand. Yep, I saw a few of you here. I'm going to plug Leadership Shawano County. Leadership Shawano County, which Nancy also manages and leads, it is a great program that will introduce you to community service right here in Shawano. When I moved here, I did mention when I moved here 6 years ago, that's the first thing I sought out, right, Wendy Crawford? Absolutely. And it introduced me to the community, things that you would be amazed. It is a great, great program, and I know that that Nancy's always recruiting for that program. Leadership Shawano County. Finally, mark your calendars for September 23rd, 2023. We have partnered with Socialite Suites Events, the wedding planner, who is a published wedding planner, by the way. She's in Wisconsin Bride. Next year for what we're calling Beers to Unite event. It is going to be a tent event on Sunset Island. And we're inviting all of you to be there. It's going to be a community event. We hope it's the next best thing and that we give Ball of Badges some good competition. All right, so with that said, we thank you. We thank you for being here. We thank you for showing up for our community. And we will see you at Beers to Unite next year. Thank you. Have a great day.